Hey folks, this project is sponsored by Revopoint, who have just released the Mini 2 3D scanner that I'll be using in this video. There's a link in the description to get a discount on the scanner, and I believe that's also an affiliate link, so it should help me out when you buy it from there too. I think it's no secret that I'm a fan of the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland and vintage model kits. So when there was a re-release of the 1970s Haunted Mansion model kits a couple years ago, I had to get them. These were originally official Disney kits that were re-released without the Disney branding out of the original molds as Haunted Manor kits. There's 4 kits in all, and some of them are better than others. A couple of them are pretty accurate to the ride, and a couple are not so much. I really liked the one with the conservatory coffin. That has some great characters with it. When I built the gravedigger, I made a new head for him to look like the cemetery caretaker from the ride instead of the kind of creepy character it came with. There's also an organ player kit that's pretty cool that I haven't put together yet. But the last kit is this vampire, which kind of comes out of nowhere because except for a painting in the Florida mansion, there's no vampire on the ride. I almost didn't even get this one until I had the idea to do it up as one of my favorite character designs, the Hatbox Ghost. He was famously in the ride for about a week when it first opened in 1969, and was then removed until an updated version was added back in 2015. The design of the vampire with his cape and high collar seemed like a perfect fit, so I did a little Photoshop to see what it might look like, and then I went for it. The first step is to start assembling the individual parts. I like this Tamiya extra thin glue for styrene kits. It melts the plastic to bond it, so often just pressing the parts together will work great, but I'll use rubber bands or clamps if it needs help staying together. All of the kits have some sort of rubber band driven zap action. On the vampire, both of his arms pop up when you flip a lever on his back, so this is how it normally goes together. I think when I build the kit, I'm just going to make the arm holding the hat box pop up. I'm going to scan the parts of the kit with the Mini 2 so that I can design and print the replacement parts to fit perfectly to the original body. The Mini 2 runs on the same RevoScan software as their other scanners, which I find pretty easy to use. It gets frequent updates, which I really appreciate seeing. I scanned each part on the turntable. Some pieces are just easier to scan than others based on their geometry. If I have trouble getting something to track, I'll use some blobs of clay or reference objects around the subject to help the software see where it is in space. The included tracking mat also helps with this. I also prop up many of the parts on blobs of clay to help me scan the underside. Compared to the original Mini, the Mini 2 has better stabilization, optional lights for better color texture capturing, and a slightly larger field of view. It's not as dramatic a field of view upgrade as the Range 2 had, but because the capture range of the Mini is very small, any increase is a very big help. Some parts, like the body, I scanned from one angle, then paused, rotated, and continued scanning. You could do this as 2 separate scans and merge them together, but I find this to be faster, and you can see if it's working right away. Then I just delete the extra dots and process the mesh. Here's how the scans turned out. You can see there's some noise on the surface, but keep in mind these parts are very small. The head is only a couple centimeters. I actually scanned the body with the arms up and down so that I could see the range of movement when making my design. I taped the body together because I'll want to paint the parts separately before final assembly, and you can see the tape showed up very clearly in the scan. Then I brought in some sculptures that I had already started on for the head and hands. I'm playing with the placement of the head on the body to get the hunched posture of the Hatbox Ghost. When building these vintage model kits, I don't want to alter too much of it because then what would be the point of using them as a base? So I try to find a nice balance of the new and the old. When I was happy with how they looked, I sent them to the resin printer. A little test fit, and it's looking good. I had thought about trying to do some sort of lighting effect to reveal a head in the hat box, but that was going to be a level of complication that would kind of take the fun out of this being a quick project for me. I had modeled in a space for a piece of brass rod to act as the handle and pivot for the hat box. I figured out how to rig it up so that only one arm raises, so we're moving forward. The great thing about starting from an accurate 3D scan is that I know the pieces will all fit together pretty well. I'm using spray paint for plastic as the base coat because I happen to have a color that I liked and it bonds pretty well to both the prints and the styrene. Then some acrylic paint for washes and dry brushing. I've painted ghosts in different ways, but I liked the idea of calling back to the watercolor look of the original concept drawings of the Hatbox Ghost. And that just about does it. Here's the zap action. This was a fun little conversion, and I wish the original kit would have been made like this. Thanks to Revopoint for making this project possible with the Mini 2 Blue Light 3D scanner. If you have any questions about the scanner or my process, go ahead and leave a comment. You'll find a link in the description to Revopoint's website for more info about the scanner, and I believe you're also going to be getting a little discount by using my link there. There's also a subscribe button down there that's really easy to click. I think the next time I see you, we'll be going back to my animatronic parrot kit project, so check back soon.